I seen a lot of people of Blue Sky claiming that they're getting persecuted by the Trump administration, and they're sharing this New York Post article as evidence that it's happening. Apparently, the FBI is considering that the assassination of Charlie Kirk may have been a conspiracy. So they're launching probes into various organizations, such as the Armed Queers, SLC, which apparently took down their Instagram after Charlie Kirk died. They're also looking into Steam accounts, online gaming forums like Discord. For Affinity was targeted as well. And the main reason for this is that the killer was dating a transgender person, which also happened to be a member of the prestigious furry community. Now, this is why people on Blue Sky are claiming they're getting persecuted. The transgender person in question collaborated with the FBI since day one, and they also claim that they have no idea of what Tyler was going to do. Which, fair enough, but if you know anything about police investigations, you also know that you just can't take someone's word for it. Like, you have to verify it. And so what they're doing is they're looking at Discord logs, they're looking at Steam groups, they're looking everywhere to see whether or not it is actually true that they had no idea of it. And so if they manage to find some logs, or if they manage to find any type of online leaks where the transgender person may have known, well, then they're going to be brought in for questioning, right? It's just how police works in all nations around the world. Like, this is not something particular for this case or particular for America. It's not baffling. But I can tell you what's actually happening and why they are so shocked. Anyone that actually went on Reddit or went on Blue Sky or went to any of these places that were promoting progressive ideology, especially tied to LGBTQ ideology, right? You would immediately notice that the rhetoric was dialed to 11. Like, if you were to go on Twitter in a white nationalist circle or on Facebook or anything like that, the rhetoric was usually built around metaphors, was usually built around implications, insinuations, because right-wingers lived under cancel culture. And so, when you wanted to see, discussions against immigrants, like, everyone would dial down the rhetoric, everyone was just kind of like chill, like the same conversation you would have with your mother at the breakfast table, because they knew that if they step out of line, they get banned. Meanwhile, if you look at leftist circles, the one that I mentioned previously, the conversation was dialed to 11. Like, you would have die cis scab, we need to arm up because they're misgendering us. Like all of the rhetoric that would be something you were used to seeing on the internet before 2016, but at some point it became unacceptable for every other group, except for left-leaning extremists, right? Like they, for some reason, we're kind of like Hassan Piker is on Twitch. Like he can actually say and do anything he wants without repercussions. And the reason people know about it is because he's Hassan and he's popular. But no, like you would have tens of thousands of Hassans on TikTok. You'd have tens of thousands of Hassans on Reddit. You'd have them on Blue Sky, right? Like, people that, when it came to extremist rhetoric, especially against Donald Trump or prominent conservative figures like Candace Owens, Matt Walsh, Charlie Kirk, like, they wouldn't hesitate to say, oh yeah, like, he should get shot or he should get a bullet or any of those things, right? But the issue is that up until now, most right-wingers, and myself included, people who grew up into the edgy era of the internet and people who genuinely disagreed with cancel culture and disagreed with terms of service and disagreed with all of this, the way we rationalized it is that they're just being edgy, right? Like, they're being cheeky little shits. They're saying stuff in order to be edgy. They're keyboard warriors. It's not necessarily that they're joking and they're not meaning it, but it's like they're not going to do shit, right? Like, they're keyboard warriors sitting behind their keyboard in their bedroom, hiding behind cloaks of anonymity. And that was kind of the idea that most people had about them and their communities, right? It's like, well, it's a community that's a necessary evil. Like, all the socialists are being contained on Reddit. That's good because when I go on Twitter, I don't get to meet them, right? Like, when I go into the same parts of the internet, they're not that many because all of them are on Twitch, all of them are on Blue Sky. So, like, the internet is free and those communities are important because it keeps the crazies bottled in. But what happens after Charlie Kirk is that people go like, hold on a little bit. Maybe they weren't joking. Like, maybe they were serious, right? And I'm pretty sure, like, parts of them in their communities, like, parts were joking, parts were serious, and now they're freaking out that the police is starting to treat them exactly the same way that the Democrat administration treated people after January 6th. Like, if you made the joke, if you made the meme, if you just went into the building, it doesn't matter, right? Like, you would have been treated like a terrorist. And so, now that this is being applied to them, they're freaking out, because, like, probably a lot of them would be on Discord, that they would, like, I assume a couple of individuals may genuinely just write edgy shit, because that's the vibe there. And now the police is knocking at your door, and it's like, oh, by the way, yeah, you wrote edgy shit, but it's illegal. And it is, because, like, feminists pushed it to make it illegal. Like, what I mean by this is that back in 2014, the entire internet was edgy, right? Like, the entire internet was posting extreme stuff. But then feminists come along from the UK, and they're like, oh, no, we need trust and safety, we need to dial down the rhetoric, jokes are bad, you know? And so, with time, yeah, like for everyone else, saying stuff that the left was saying on these platforms became not just unacceptable, but in many places it became illegal, right? Like the way the law is interpreted, back then it was, oh, it's just some nonsense on the internet. Now it's being taken very seriously. Like before, if Skullfuck47 on Xbox said he wants to shag your mom, no one would have taken that seriously, right? It's just edgy Xbox sucks. Now, especially after the Charlie Kirk assassination, they'll be like, well, what if Skullfuck47 genuinely wants to shag your mom? Do you know how many women lose their lives in the metro? Like, that's dangerous. We need to investigate, right? And so they fucked around, and they found out that it's pretty much like their own rules and their own principles now being weaponized and used against them. And here's the interesting thing. I wouldn't be surprised if the FBI does actually find a conspiracy. It's not going to be a conspiracy like in the movies where, you know, a person drives the car from point A to point B and then the gun is being left on the roof a day before by another guy, you know, and then the shooter just comes in and then you have like the extraction team. Not like that. No, but it's going to be like people probably saying, yeah, he should be shot. Yeah, this is a good thing that it happened. Probably some of them would think it's internet talk, but it doesn't matter. Like, the law is the law. It's very clear on these issues, especially after something like this happens. Yeah, like, they may be people that are going to look at the slammer for random stuff that they posted on Steam. Or random stuff that they posted on Discord. What can you do? It's 2025, you know? But my favorite take is that I see a lot of people on Twitter saying, oh, right-wingers are going to start something. Because they don't understand what they're doing. Like, if they start this, it's going to be used against them. And I'm like, you do realize that it's being used against them for 2 decades now. Like, for over 2 decades, it has been, cancel culture has been created by left-leaning people, weaponized, and used against right-wingers consistently. Like, the only time they got the reprieve is when Elon Musk managed to buy Twitter, and even then, it's like not 100% free speech, right? So, you're basically threatening them with more of the same. Like, right-wingers already are being cancelled. January 6th was already weaponized against right-wingers. You had parents which were upset that schools are teaching LGBTs to their kids, and the Democrats all but treated them as terrorists. Because they had the goals to complain about the teachers. And I remember, like, teachers posting stuff. It's like, parents should know their place. You know, a teacher is a second parent, and they were basically insinuating that the teacher should and does have more moral authority than the parent itself. And so, like, right-wingers already have been cancelled. Right-wingers already have been persecuted. You can't threaten them with more of the same because they're used to it. The left is freaking out because they're not actually used to this stuff. You know, do you guys remember, like, during BLM, the type of rhetoric that Antifa and other extremists used to have online? And the type of rhetoric that LGBT activists had, especially against J.K. Rowling and her fans, none of that was investigated. None of that led to bans or accounts being purged, right? This is the first time it happens and it freaks them out. It's like, well, I'm sorry, you know, I'm not the one doing it. I haven't called anyone's workplace. I haven't tried to get anyone fired. But at the same time, I can understand. I've been telling them, like, I've been telling them so since 2016. And now it's finally happening. Okay, well, get used to it, I guess. You know, dial down the rhetoric. They keep saying right-wingers should dial down the rhetoric. Charlie Kirk was dialing down the rhetoric, right? Like, Charlie Kirk was basically saying to go to the voting booth, to cast your vote, to go to the polls. They shot him. So my question is, like, when is the left going to dial down its rhetoric? And again, like, they will say, well, yeah, but, like, what if the shooter was actually a Republican? What if the shooter was... How does that justify the thousands of teachers, of journalists, or of people with their faces made public on Blue Sky or Reddit, congratulating the shooter, wanting more of it, demanding that every single right-winger who holds those views be shot as well? And all of them had thousands of likes, right? So you have like tens of thousands of people that are basically saying, yeah, the rhetoric shouldn't be dialed down. So what is the left doing to dial their side down? Because right-wingers can't dial down the left, just like the left can't dial down the right. It has to come from internally. And I do see voices within the right that have constantly advocated for spirits to calm down. I have never seen people advocating for the left to calm down. Except recently. I will say this. I was actually surprised that Cenk Uygur and Ana Kasparian was actually telling the left to dial it down. Kind of makes sense, though, if you think about it, because the whole thing, it's like you have the assassination, right? People are angry. If the left shut up, none of it would have escalated, right? But they start talking, they start cheering, they start making fun, and then right-wingers target the people that were cheering. That was like the first cancellation wave. Like the people that said, yeah, it's a good thing that they got shot, those were the ones being canceled. And the rest of the left is freaked out. It's like, how dare you cancel our teachers? And now right-wingers are escalating even further, and they're going after people that even made a joke about the assassination, which initially they didn't. I mean, how could they not, right? Like, if they see that they're going after the worst offenders, and they're going after, like, the actual people that... It's not that they believe in socialism, or they're trying to express their ideas for restricting guns or other left-wing talking points. No, they're glorifying a murder, which in this situation is not just any murder, it's a murder of a moderate that was actually asking for the spirits to be dialed down. It's insane, but it is what it is. Anyway, I went on a rant. I should save a little bit more for my live stream. Thank you for watching. I appreciate it, and I'll see you guys in the comment section. Take care.